I thoroughly enjoyed Frozen the first time I watched it. It looked gorgeous. And the reveal in the climax that the princess does not need to be saved but can actually save herself through an act of courage and selflessness, I liked it. It surprised me, and I shed a tear. But still, there was one moment that left me...
Love. Of course. Love.
What? Love what? Elsa, what about love?
Explain yourself.
Did your sister's self-sacrifice suddenly remind you of the concept of love that you had forgotten? Which you have always been loved by your parents, your sister, your whole country? Did you doubt she loved you and that made you want to defreeze? How? She was like smothering you with love, followed you without a second of hesitation, risked her life for you multiple times. Or did you close yourself off to the feeling of love? Though, isn't it the love for your people and Anna that makes you withdraw so you do not hurt anyone?
No, Anna, I belong here, where I can be who I am without hurting anybody.
This moment?
Love. Of course.
Doesn't make sense. Need proof?
Trust. Of course.
Trust. Or
Family. Of course.
family. You could have inserted any other inspirational word and it would have functioned just the same. Because to love or not to love was never an issue between the two sisters. Sure, the theme comes up a few times. We have the catchy "love's an open door" in the first act. Elsa telling Anna that you do not marry anyone after only one day, supported by Kristoff. And then Olaf gives Anna a definition, but not as an antidote to this. So, this is what I'm going to be doing in this video. To set up the theme so that the climax works and Elsa's
Love. Of course. Love.
really makes sense for her and Anna's character arc. And since Anna and Elsa are separated throughout most of the film, we need another character to discuss the theme with her.
Wow, you really don't know anything about love.
Yes, because what better way to explore what love can and cannot do than within a story of love? But boy oh boy.
Were you raised in a barn?
Mean it.
All men do it.
You don't tell him what to do.
Don't talk to him like that.
Now back up while I deal with this crook here.
And yes, we're going to make Kristoff a viable romantic hero while we're at it. Welcome to Frozen Needs More Romance. So, how do we even set up a theme? In his book Into the Woods, John York describes the basic structure in which stories usually explore their theme. You start with a dramatic question, like, oh shoot, what are we gonna do? You then present a possible answer to your question, your thesis. For instance,
Conceal it.
Don't feel it.
Don't let it show.
to bring in your theme, you then introduce another possible solution that conflicts with the first one.
I pushed her, so I'm the one that needs to go after her.
Your antithesis. And then, in your second act, you will have characters clash over these exact two theses over and over again.
You belong down in Arendelle. So do you. Anna, I belong here.
And then present the answer that you think is best in the climax.
Love. Of course.
So what we need first is to decide on a dramatic question. And seeing this and this, I would argue it is the following. Is there a way, although Elsa has superpowers that could unalive normal humans at any given moment, for her and the people of Arendelle to coexist without fear or danger? And as we have established, Elsa's parents' answer is no. They lock her up, creating fear in Elsa. The antithesis, on the other hand, you might already have guessed, comes from Anna, our naive, quirky, and endlessly optimistic main character. But wait, you may ask, if Anna already knows the right answer in Act 1, why is she not able to make Elsa and the Arendellians work right away? Why do we need all these shenanigans?
Catch me, angels! Jerks!
The answer is, unlike in a court trial where only one side can win, John York suggests that stories rather function like a discussion or a mediation, meaning both sides have a point and the solution usually lies in the middle. Thesis plus antithesis leads to synthesis. Anna is on the right track in Act 1, but there are certain parts missing to help her apply the thesis effectively. Parts that she will encounter and learn in Act 2. Now, let's present the thesis in scene. So, for the rewrite, the goal is to change as little as possible, meaning the overall plot should basically stay the same. We have a festivity that will make Elsa and the Arendellians clash. Anna gets seduced by Hans. A fight between the two sisters makes Elsa lose control and flee, and Anna follows her. She gets help from Kristoff in Act 2, but still her intervention at North Mountain fails. Subsequently, Elsa gets caught. Anna, also back in Arendelle, now sees through Hans's evil plan and is able to keep Hans from unaliving Elsa through an act of self-sacrifice. That inspires Elsa to gain control over her powers, so that she and the people of Arendelle can live happily ever after. Okay, thesis 1 is easy. Like in the movie, Elsa's powers almost off Anna. Scared and overwhelmed, their parents keep Elsa and her powers hidden, and they decide to make Anna the queen. I know. Hear me out. How was this ever supposed to work? When Elsa cannot even be in a room with her sister, how is she going to manage a whole country, which means constantly working with other humans? And yes, they obviously did not plan for it to happen so fast. Even if it was a good idea to make the one person lead the country that could unalive anyone close to her at any moment, in a version where she is the queen, she's kind of a bad one. Like, she runs away not thinking about her responsibilities at all. And even after that, not once does she utter any concern for the well-being of her people. Like asking Anna, are they fine? Or you need to do it, Anna. Something? That brings me to, in my opinion, the biggest flaw of the script. And the reason the climax does not work. The humans. It is the humans Elsa runs away from. It is being away from them that allow her to finally let her hair down. It is them who are in danger and who embrace her to signal to us all is well now. Aren't they basically her main antagonist? If she can live with them without danger or fear is the dramatic question. Yet in the movie, they're barely more than decoration. Scared in the inciting incident and happily laughing after Elsa has her epiphany. They have no agency, goals, or needs. This needs to change. We will need to incorporate them more. So, Anna is queen, and she is committed. Her thoughts are constantly with her people and how she can protect them and her sister. Remember, her big heart and optimism are her greatest assets. So we need things that keep her from succeeding in Act 1. One is she is a little bit too naive. Having grown up sheltered, she does not know what she's dealing with yet. But remember the theme. Love, what it can do, must be part of every discussion she has. To achieve that, I like to make Anna conflicted and insecure about her biggest assets. So, when Anna is rapping at Elsa's chamber door during Wanna Build a Snowman to no avail, Dad shows up. And we get a first thesis clash. He consoles her. I know you're hurting. We all are. But sometimes there is no other way. But Anna is furious. No, there must be a way, she cries. And if you would love us enough, you would find one. Anna's father replies, a king or a queen cannot always follow their heart. Some problems are so huge that even love cannot solve them.
1, 2, 3.
So when Coronation Day arrives and Anna is longing to be with her sister and comes rapping at her chamber door again and is rejected again, she is not only fighting with Elsa but also her father. And the theses clash yet again. Elsa saying there is no other way, and Anna replying, yes, there is. I love you. So whatever it is that keeps you inside, we will overcome it together. So now we have the thesis established between the sisters. Let's see what everyone else has to say about the matter. Anna, distraught, lonely, rejected by her sister, her father's words in her mind, is an easy prey for a man who's ready to feed her semi-right but also under-examined belief that love conquers all. Enter Hans. As in the movie, she falls for him. But this time, she's not a princess. She is the queen and has a moment of doubt. But of course, he pretends to endorse her thesis. Oh, my queen, he says, don't worry. I love you. Together we can solve any problem there is. Now, time to finish Act 1, meaning Thesis Clash Deluxe. In one corner, we have Anna and her trusted sidekick Hans. In the other, Elsa, the ghost of Anna's father, and two new contenders to discuss our burning question. Number 1, Mr. Weaselton. While Anna and Hans relish in their decision to tie the knot, he is working on destabilizing Anna's reign and spreads a nasty rumor. Elsa is not dwelling in the attic like Berta Rochester because she's mad. She is a witch, and everyone in the castle is in danger. And thus he drags another fighter into the brawl. The people of Arendelle. They are not eyeing their pitchforks yet, but they are uneasy. See, they don't know Elsa. So they look to their queen for advice. For Hans, this is gold. When Weaselton tells him in front of everyone that it might be a bad idea to marry into a family of a witch, he plants an idea into Anna's head, Inception style. If there was just a way to have the people see with their own eyes that his fiancée's sister is not a danger to anyone. Anna takes the bait. The court proceeds to Elsa's room. Anna tries to lure her out by giving her the good news. Elsa, knowing her sister is too naive for her own good, is alarmed. And we get the same exchange we had in the movie. That makes Anna angry. How dare her sister criticize her when she did not even bother to leave the room for her? She becomes defiant and a wee bit malicious and threatens to marry Hans on the spot. And there she is, opening the door to keep her sister from making a dumb decision. Anna is delighted and genuinely surprised. Her sister cares enough for her to finally show herself. She smiles. But then Elsa realizes.
It's a trap.
Weaselton pumps up the crowd. Anna tries to calm her people, but that puts even more pressure on Elsa. They both push her into a corner and she is terrified. Her powers longing to finally break free. She cannot keep them in. That is fodder for Weaselton. Anna is confused, but she's not afraid. Steadfast, she states her thesis yet again. "It's all right, Elsa," she says. "I love you. We can figure this out." However, the crowd is on the brink of panic. Weaselton draws his sword. Anna is so close to the blade. Elsa snaps. A fence of icicles break Anna and Weaselton apart, and they trap the visitors in one corner of the room. When Weaselton calls his henchmen, there is only one way to go for Elsa. Out. So now that the nature and scope of Elsa's powers is out of the hat, the fight for the heart of the people of Arendelle and Elsa's future begins. Weaselton has a clear answer to a dramatic question. Nope. If we do not kill her, she will kill all of us. Anna tries to calm her citizens, saying Elsa did not want to harm anyone, but to no avail. They are scared. And Weaselton fans this very fear even more. It does not matter what Elsa wants, he says. She has magic, and magic is a danger to everyone who does not have it. Anna has no choice. If she wants to prove to herself and her people and Elsa and her father that anything can be overcome with enough love, she has to act now. She will show them that Elsa's not dangerous, and that they all can live happily together. Fine. Someone will follow her, she says. But it is going to be me. I'm not afraid. And this was not the worst choice.
Flame.
Weaselton can't argue with that,
You win.
and the crowd is like, if the queen is not scared? Yet, when Anna is ready to mount her horse, her father's words sound in her head again. Her knees are like pudding. Is she doing the right thing, or will her belief in her thesis open Elsa and Arendelle up to doom? Hans. She grabs his arm, and he, everything works according to his plan, says, "What does your heart tell you?" "I want to bring her back," Anna whispers. He kisses her. Then that is what you need to do. But before she leaves, he gives her 2 things. Yes, another big change. So sorry. I will explain later. And my minimalist, frugalist mind hates to add 2 whole new things, but I dare you write in the comments how to fix the problems they're supposed to solve without straying from the script at all. We'll get there, promise. So, thing 1 is a vial. He tells Anna, "I got this from a wise man in my country, and he said it can keep magic and make it stop being dangerous. But the one who carries the magic has to go inside, and it can only happen on their free will." Bear with me, it'll make sense. Plus, a dagger to defend herself. Both will come up to explain Hansen's action in the rest of the movie, but for now, they remind us and Anna what might happen to Elsa if Anna's thesis turns out to be wrong. Then she leaves. And thus, finally, enter Kristoff, our male romantic lead. So, in order to know what type of person Kristoff needs to be, let's remind ourselves of his main task. He has to force Anna to examine and adjust her thesis. And you might have guessed what that means. More thesis clash. And just like Dad, Elsa, and Mr. Weaselton, he must endorse the antithesis. Some problems are too huge to be just laughed away. Maybe Elsa and the Arendellians will never work out. But, as I've pointed out, the goal is not one thesis or the other, but a synthesis of the two. That means the truth to win the climax with lies in the middle. Ergo, both of them hold a part of the solution in their hand, but are when they meet too extreme, too short-sighted to embrace the answer that they need to set Elsa, Arendelle, and themselves free. So it makes sense to set them up as different from one another and incompatible as possible. To our heroine Anna, who is too naive, too optimistic, too simplistic, too happy-go-lucky, we will have a Kristoff that is too distrustful, grumpy, pessimistic, and broody for his own good. And with every thesis battle, they will rub off some of the good stuff onto each other and away the stuff that holds them back. And again, it makes sense to have all of this happen as a part of a love story, not only because the romance is text, but the theme is. Love is powerful. It can lead to change and growth, which, as Billy Murnett states in his book, Writing the Romantic Comedy, is the hallmark of a romance. By experiencing love for each other, they will learn not only things about themselves, but about love. Kristoff will find out that it holds more power than his jaded mind had expected if he just allowed himself to open up to it. And Anna, that it is powerful, alright, but that it might be more complicated than she thought. That besides love, you might also need patience, work, and empathy. And speaking of empathy, I cannot believe how severely underused Kristoff was as a character. A blonde pessimist? Being bad with people? Feeling most themselves when alone in nature because they have grown up among beings that love them but are ultimately unchangeably different from them? And
Ice is my life.
he's practically a more manageable version of Elsa and could have taught Anna so much about what life was like for her, but nothing was done with it. He was raised by trolls, for God's sake. What an interesting bloke. But in the movie, he is nothing more than a glorified chauffeur. But worst of all, he was so unlovable. Why did Anna even end up with him? Because Olaf told her Kristoff loved her? I mean, did he? Really? I couldn't tell.
Does it look bad?
No, you hesitated.
So, let's make him more sympathetic and a real romantic hero. That means we need a reason for him being so grumpy and why he would sing reindeers are better than people. New Kristoff will have even more in common with Elsa. He has a problem with the people of Arendelle too. Just like her, he has been rejected due to being different. He left the trolls when he was old enough and went to the city, but guess what? He looked strange, smelled strange, and was friends with a reindeer. So they beat him and cursed him and cheated him. So, no love lost there. But why did it hurt so much? Enough to swear off living among humans completely, only meeting them for business. Just like Anna, he has a flaw. A voice inside him that keeps him from getting what he wants. He was left behind by his parents. Whatever reason they might have had, in his darkest moments, he will believe it must have been his fault. He is not loved and accepted by humans because he is not lovable. There is something wrong with him. And although the trolls love him and he loves them, he cannot lie to himself. He will ultimately always be different from them. He will never belong, not with the humans, nor with the trolls. He only has Sven. And that is the conviction that their romance will chip away. Plus, it will prove Anna's fear wrong that she cannot trust her heart and teach her some stuff about Elsa. So, our new Kristoff is grumpy, distrustful, and critical, something that will make spoiled and insecure Anna go mad. But having been loved by the trolls and Sven, under his mean shell that is supposed to drive away humans before they hurt him again, he is capable of loving someone and can make an effort to make a relationship work. And that is what Anna will ultimately fall in love with. And the viewer too. And Anna, she will seem egotistical, spoiled, and arrogant in the beginning, but she has a good heart. The things she does for her sister and her people, that is what will win him over and allow him to finally trust someone. So, how will this happen exactly? In the film's second act, they have 6 scenes together before they get separated. The first meeting at Oaken's shop, running from the wolves, meeting Olaf by the lake, trying to find a way up North Mountain, the failed intervention at North Mountain, and dealing with the aftermath. It's not much. To learn more about how conflict should be handled in a romance, go watch the video series that I made. Suffice to say here, the movie did not do a great job. When there should be an ebb and flow of conflict, their level of bickering practically stays the same and they never bond. Their level of friendliness does not change much as well. So this time we adjusted as follows, like Gustav Freitag would suggest. Scene 1, exposition, no conflict yet. Scene 2, introduction of the conflict. Scene 3, highest point of conflict with the first glimmer of love. Scene 4, growing love and diminishing romantic conflict. Scene 5, love in action, so almost no romantic conflict. And scene 6, temporary breakup, due to each person's not yet fully resolved flaw. And as you might have guessed, this will require some changes, specifically to scenes 3 and 4. But I will explain when we get there. Let's go! So this one basically stays the same. Anna, now without her horse, needs someone to bring her to Elsa's lair. Kristoff's entrance already is no notes, so intimidating. But we must also prepare Anna's lesson that people tend to reject someone who's different from them and that love alone might not be able to mend that. Let's have Oaken make a nasty comment on Kristoff. To now establish Kristoff's strained relationship to humans, he will not whine about his business and needlessly annoy Oaken. He already hates him. And that due to the sudden snow, he has to beg for a discount. But as he had expected, Oaken is heartless. As they are. He leaves without a word, almost choking on his rage and contempt. So this time Oaken tells Anna that North Mountain might be the place to be, but that unfortunately he doesn't know anyone who could guide her there, except the stranger seems to bring ice from up there to sell. Though if Oaken was her, he would stay away from him. Yet Anna, way too naive to even have registered the tension between the two men, seeks him out and offers him a deal. But he ignores her completely. Instead, he sings to Sven. Anna, the spoiled princess, tries to pull ranks, but she is not stupid. She sees Sven longing for the carrots. And that does the trick. Unbeknownst to her, she went directly to his weak spot, his deep care for the ones he loves. And we already see her weakness. She's impulsive and impatient and thinks she knows everything. Honestly, this scene is one of their best in the movie. It establishes themes,
You got engaged to someone you just met that day?
and we can see them working together. So we will do the same. This time, Chatterbox Anna is bored and kinda hates the power Kristoff holds over her by not engaging with her at all. The queen. Again, she pulls Sven into their conflict, pushing Kristoff's buttons. He tells her to STFU for good reasons. She does not. Dad's words reverberate in her head and make her super insecure about the whole endeavor and thus sensitive towards any type of criticism. But he will not stay quiet either, because she also pokes his insecurity that he is unlovable. So he claps back. Anna defends herself and brings up Hans to tell herself, yes, she is a girl boss. If he says follow your heart, this is fine. And this brings us right into the thematic discussion of what love is, like it is in the movie. And just like in the movie, Kristoff challenges her with the notion that big feelings take time. You need to have lived with someone for a while to know if it is love. By this, he's telling Anna, of course, that she might be in over her head, so time to retaliate. Implying again he will never be loved because he's unlovable. So when again he calls her decisions into question, she brings out the big guns. Hans. Well, he knows at least how to be supportive and not criticize every single move that one makes. If he wants her to trust her heart, she does. But Kristoff knows the drill and where it hurts. Well, maybe your Hans wants you to trust your heart because he knows your heart tells you to trust someone you hardly know. But then, there they are, attracted by their arguing. This scene is crucial. Remember the story's message. That means we must show how not having accepted love, not loving, is not the way to go. Thus, in this scene, they must fail miserably. It also functions as the baseline for the romance. Again, when a romance is a story about how love can make a person change for the better, both of them must be at their worst. Flaw in full display. Anna, too naive and impatient, and Kristoff, too mean and antisocial. So when the wolves attack, Anna does not listen. Kristoff has a plan, but he does not clue her in on it. To make her stop screaming though, when they enter another part of the forest and the torch is in danger, he tells her to take care of it. But Anna still cannot keep her cool. When one of the wolves surges, she startles, swings the torch, and sets not only the coat of the wolf ablaze, but also the sleigh. Kristoff has no choice. Instead of taking the longer way to safety, he has to take a shortcut, down into a steep ravine. They're unharmed, the wolf's gone, but the sleigh is in shambles. Anna knows that she messed up, but her insecurity does not allow her to show shame or say sorry. Instead, her fatal flaw, her boundless optimism, takes over, becoming almost manic. Kristoff, who has just lost his livelihood, is incredulous and angry at being completely disregarded and treated like a chauffeur. He goes for the jugular, her incompetence, throwing them almost dying because of her in her face, prompting their first proper thesis clash, in which Anna reveals her, we know, still lackluster plan to tell Elsa how much she and Aranda love her and ask her to come back. And Kristoff, jaded as he is, of course, reacts with Anna's dreaded counterattack. There are problems for which love is not enough. She needs to dismiss it, of course, and asks him how he would know, but he just points at the sleigh and tells her again that she should have listened to him, but didn't. Anna tells him again that he's too mean, to which Kristoff says, not everybody who growls is after you. And she should have just waited until they arrived in this part of the forest. Why? Anna asks, and now Kristoff finally reveals his plan. The wolves would not have dared to step into this part of the forest because it is the territory of another predator. What other predator? Anna scoffs, when suddenly... hear me out. Remember what this scene is supposed to do. Love seeping in. So we need the first tiny step towards the middle, where love and the synthesis lie. We need to signal the first trace of change through love, meaning the other. Best way to signal change to the audience is revisiting a scene in which characters first failed and show them doing better. And since Anna is the one with the goal, I think it makes sense that she makes the first effort to change. But how to relive the scene from before? Same situation, different animal. There are other ways. Love to hear your ideas in the comments, but for now, again, they are being threatened. The bear specifically aggravates Anna. She needs to act. But this time, she keeps her cool. Because she applies something that Kristoff told her. She does not act mindlessly, observes, and is able to find out that, indeed, they were not threatened. Because Mama Bear needed help to get her cub out of a trap. Anna, using her dagger, frees Baby Bear, and thus for the first time shows Kristoff how sweet and caring she can be. Especially with creatures that growl and hiss because they cannot talk about their feelings. This scene ends with them in the same position they were in before the bear, but things are different. Anna has done something heroic, and they both know. So the discussion from before is over, but in true Kristoff fashion, he does not address it, he just walks on. But to show some more change, we will have Anna still needling Kristoff via Sven, but this time in a more playful way. But to top it off, it is not only Anna that has made an effort to work on some of her flaws. His name is Sven. And it's Sven and Kristoff. Time to bond. So, in this scene, both of them need to make an irreversible step towards the other. Plus, Kristoff has not talked much yet, and the next scenes are pretty Elsa and action heavy. He must reveal his vital information about how to deal with Elsa now. Meaning, thesis clash, but with a different flavor. They've already tiptoed towards the other a wee bit, so we will have the same dynamic. Anna trying to get him to speak, being annoying, Kristoff being annoyed and antisocial, but more tame and sweet. So the same melody, if you will, but slower and with strings instead of brass. And we will not end on a bash of the kettle drum and some add sus whatever chord, but one with a resolution, albeit some traces of minor still. The snowfall has grown so heavy they need to take a rest. Kristoff makes a fire and familiar melody. Anna is bored. Kristoff does not say one unnecessary word. But this time, not a hunting horn, but a playful flute and a duet. To make it funny and show how much closer the three of them have grown on their journey, Anna has built a rapport with Sven now. He wants his friend to be happy, and thus teams up with Anna to get Kristoff to come out of his shell. Not knowing where to start, Sven suggests to use the stew. Anna begins to praise it, but she still has too much ego and frustration about Kristoff in herself. It comes off as sarcastic. Kristoff pokes the flames aggressively. And Sven is like, "You can do better." And she does. She is sweet and caring and starts to speak from the heart, praising the beauty of Kristoff's home. And it works. Kristoff is genuinely touched. We see him look over to Anna, ready to say something. But we need the thesis clash and thus the dramatic question to appear. So let's waste no time and bring up Elsa's and Kristoff's main antagonist. And again, it only happens because one of Anna's flaws. Her naivete. Blind to the tension between Oaken and Kristoff, she says, "Ugh, if Oaken just saw the beauty around here, he would not say the land was cursed." Kristoff tenses. And Sven, knowing all his friend went through with humans, wants her to back off.
You ruined everything, you stupid.
But she doesn't. Not because she wants to aggravate Kristoff, she knows she is onto something and genuinely interested. She remembers. She wants to connect and help. She does agree that humans are difficult, but she is Anna. Insecure about her whole decision to even be here, she has to convince herself of her thesis. She says, but deep down, people are good, and gives an example of them being loving and kind. Time for Kristoff's antithesis, born out of years of humiliation. Yeah, they might be kind to someone like you, but if you do not look like them, talk like them, or smell like them, they will not embrace you. They will reject you. Anna is challenged. They're talking Elsa's fate here. She says, but if they knew the stranger isn't dangerous, they could learn to love her. But Kristoff, he was loved by the trolls. He must have loved his parents, but still, he is alone. Sometimes love is not enough. And this is when it clicks for Anna. Why Elsa might want to be away from Arendelle, and why Kristoff might be abrasive towards her, and she speaks from the heart again, making her big step towards synthesis and Kristoff. "I'm sorry I crashed your sleigh," she says, "and burnt the wolf. I know you know your way around here better than I do." And this is almost too much for Kristoff. He did not plan on telling so much about himself and going so deep with anyone, let alone the queen. He almost jumps to his feet to break the intensity of the moment and shields himself from rejection like any healthy adult would do, by self-deprecation. You know, he smells so bad, she's a princess. He tells her that to not freeze to death, they all have to sleep close to one another. She will need to cuddle with Sven, and he kinda must too. Like, I will need to be on the other side. Sorry. And Anna gets it. She's almost frustrated to see him struggling, and in a perfect world, she's a very loving person. She would just hug him to console him. But she cannot. She smiles awkwardly. I always hated this romance trope. The random touch and then time freezes and super slow-mo they look into each other's eyes. But while writing this, it dawned on me. I wanted them to kiss before the climax, so spoiler I guess, but it kind of never felt right without a moment like this. Because yes, they have bonded, but they are still friends. At some point in a love story, it must be signaled. This is romance. There is also a physical spark. And here it is. They are each ready to lie down next to Sven. Alas, no one knew which side was theirs. They walk to the same side at the same time and bump into each other, grabbing each other to not fall into the fire. And Anna, she was smitten with him already, yearning to hug him as a friend, but now for the first time touching him, something strange happens. He is not just a tortured soul. He is a man. And suddenly what she feels for him is not so different from what she felt for Hans. And when they finally lay next to each other, she is confused. She wishes them good night, but then she hears his voice in the darkness and the effort it takes him to speak. I'm sorry what I said about Hans, that he must be a liar, Kristoff says. He is a lucky man. Kristoff makes his step now, and the next one will even be bigger and tell Anna he did listen to her and is also ready to change just to make her happy. And he says, "You did great with the bear. You have a big heart. You should listen to it. And you can achieve more than you think." And we will see Anna's face wanting to tell him how much his encouragement means to her, but shy and confused about her feelings, she just reaches out her hand on Sven's coat, snuggling the reindeer closer. And then Kristoff doing the same. His face between shame and yearning, reaching out his gloved hand towards her side of Sven. Both in pain about their seemingly unrequited feelings, but we giddy with anticipation because we can see what they don't. Their hands are so close to one another, they almost touch. As I said, not much Anna and Kristoff action. And the original scene was fine. They did focus on Anna and Elsa's conflict, but something felt off. It made both sisters look kinda bad. Anna was as pushy and unskilled as she was at the end of Act 1.
I don't know how. Sure you can.
And Elsa? She knew she sentenced her people to eternal winter.
Deep, 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 deep snow.
And still the scene just ends with her sending a giant monster to drive her sister off of a cliff. I think this is because the writers forgot about the essential third character that the central dramatic question revolves around. Humans. Let me show you. So Anna approaches Elsa and she has grown due to being with Kristoff. She lets her stay away from humans if so she must. But there is still a problem she needs Elsa's help with. Just as in the original, realizing that her fleeing to North Mountain has not kept her from hurting others, Elsa panics and withdraws. Anna tells her to stay calm and that they will find a way to make it happen, their theses clashing. For Elsa, there is no way for her normal people to coexist. And as if to ruin everything and test the hypothesis, they appear. Two soldiers enter the castle. Elsa has a flashback to the end of Act 1. Anna, still believing in her thesis, tries to calm both sides, but the humans do not back off. And thus, as a manifestation of Elsa's need for safety and space, in the icy bowels of the castle, Marshmallow rises. Breaking the floor, he makes the humans fall into a pit. Dead? Elsa hyperventilates. Has her biggest nightmare come true? Anna, not knowing herself what happened to them, still tries to de-escalate. You did not kill anyone, she screams. But now, in the pivotal moment, Elsa throws a revelation at her sister that is supposed to shatter Anna's conviction for good. I almost killed you, Anna, when we were children. That is why I was put away. And this is when she realizes there is only one way to keep Anna safe. The ground begins to shake again as Marshmallow charges towards Anna. But then another wave of humans. Elsa fights them, but then one of them goes straight for the queen. Elsa, scared for her sister, fires an arrow of ice into his direction, but it ricochets and strikes Anna. That is too much. Marshmallow, fueled by Elsa's panic, screams. The castle breaks in half. They all fall into the deep. Elsa and the humans to one side, Anna to the other. And she is saved from certain death only in the very last moment by Kristoff. Whew. Time to break them apart. But just to be clear, I'm not a fan of breaking up the couple for the third act, mostly because it is often initiated by one lead being complete a-hole towards the other.
No one. Just some guy from the past.
Which kind of dampens the sweetness of the happy end. We do this because the movie did it. And yeah, they are not all the way there yet. The flaws are still somewhat active. But I don't want them to look bad, so again, we will have a third party taking the brunt of the responsibility for the fallout. Spoilers, it's not gonna be the trolls.
Get out of here!
So Anna does not yet know how dangerous Elsa's ice ricochet was. She feels fine and is keen on teaming up with the people that must be nearby. But Kristoff stops her. On his little side quest, he came by the camp of the humans and overheard something suspicious. Remember that one of the soldiers charged for Anna? Anna isn't stupid. She asks him point blank what this is about. That makes him freeze, because he already loves her. Doubting her plan, it might make her angry at him. Plus, he knows he has a tendency to distrust people. What if he misjudged the situation? And worst of all, what is he even doing here? They are not equals. She is the queen. Them being a team making up plans together, it is an illusion. That alarms Anna. She genuinely wants to know. She trusts him, relies on him and wants him on her side in all of this, and knows she was difficult to work with and that he is shy and hurt. She takes his hand and tells him, "Don't worry, I told you, I do want to know." And he trusts her. Could it be that he was wrong? That they could be a couple, eye to eye? That he could be accepted after all? He's starting to tell her what he heard. But they are interrupted. I mean, who else? He rips the shy and tiny snowdrop that is their blooming love out of the earth and smushes it in his fist. Anna is excited to see him. He needs to help her with her sister, and Hans? He has seen them holding hands. He is dead set on outprincing his rival ASAP. He's marking all over Anna. Then he drops the bomb. Elsa has left the castle and is heading for Arendelle. Anna does pause for a second. Elsa running back to where the people are, but Hans already drags her away. But Anna's not ready to part ways. Yet, what to do? She genuinely wants Kristoff by her side, but she knows he hates humans. Going back with them to the place where he was humiliated? She waits for a signal from Kristoff. Again, Hans is faster and puts Kristoff into the place he wants him to be and where he also knows Kristoff thinks he himself belongs. A poor peasant, a man of the wild. Thanks for bringing the queen to safety, Hans says. My man will recompensate you for your effort. And Kristoff, he wants nothing more than to be with her, to keep her safe, but he does feel inferior. Hans is her fiancé, a prince. And even if he went, would he be able to convince her that Hans might have a plan to hurt her? Who would she believe? He cannot read her signs. And even if his inner antagonist would allow him to believe that their romance does not only exist in his fantasy, he would not dare to stand up to a prince. If he wants to help her, Kristoff says to himself, it must be from where he belongs, far away from her. He pulls a reverse Han Solo. I did it for the queen, he says. And this is what deflates Anna. It is true, she thinks. He was supposed to bring her to North Mountain, and that he did. He has no more obligations to be with her, or to return to Arendelle. And he kinda told her. He does not believe he can overcome his distrust for the people there. Not for her, that is. She is the queen for him, nothing more. Hans fires a last bullet. Kristoff bows, hiding his eyes, and lies. And there it is. She's feeling the cold. I don't know if I can do it, she says. Hans brushes it off. It was a long 2 days, my love. In Arendelle, you will get to rest. And off they go. And we are in Act 3. Anna and Hans arrive in Arendelle, yet no sign of Elsa. Since the ice inside of Anna is beginning to take its toll, he takes her to her chamber to rest. He will wake her up when Elsa's found, he says. But wouldn't it make sense to get married? Anna, freezing hard and all, has not enough energy to resist, so Hans leaves to prepare all the necessary steps. But when he's gone, she can feel it. The cold, the storm. Elsa is close. Anna wants to leave and run to her, but Hans stops her in her tracks. Before she goes, does she still happen to have the vial? Forgot about that, huh? Just as you, Anna is confused. Why would he bring up this now? You take both, she says. I will not use any of them. She has a plan. All she needs is time alone with Elsa, no interruption. Beyond fatigued, she stumbles to the door, but Hans won't let her go. He conjures up a stupid reason to wait, and this is when it finally clicks for Anna. Hans has no intention to help her. Everything falls into place. You brought her back here, she says. You want her to destroy Arendelle. Hans, smiling, finally drops the act and has his villain monologue to explain his evil plan. So, the vial. I have racked my brain trying to understand Hansen's actions in the second half of the movie. And either I am stupid or they don't make any sense.
What the hell are you doing?
Like, if his plan was to kill Elsa to get to the throne, the thing he literally tries to do in the climax, why save her from Weaselton's man at midpoint?
What?
No one was there. He could just be like, no way for me to prevent this. Whoops, the witchy princess is dead. And to top it all off, he brings her back? Instead of pretending that, I don't know, she fell off a cliff on the way home? To be the hero that kept Arendelle from destruction? Seriously? You were already the unofficial regent. And we see it. When everyone thinks Anna is dead, no one challenges your reign. And did making Elsa so unhinged that an ice storm breaks loose and then making her even more unhinged by telling her she unalived her sister really seem like the safest and most doable way for you to off her? A woman with superpowers? Instead of just jumping up to her from behind? The only reason that I could justify any of this was making killing Elsa only plan B. But what could be better than getting her out of the way? Getting her out of the way and getting a hold of her powers at the same time. And that is what the vial is for. But if you have an item that is that powerful, why bother enchanting Anna instead of hunting after the witch? It does not work with coercion. He needs Anna for his plan to work. Thus, when he gives her the two items, 3 things can happen and all 3 of them are fine by him. 1, Anna accidentally kills Elsa with a knife. Elsa needed to be out of the way. They marry. Whoops, the queen dies. Long live the king. 2, Elsa accidentally kills Anna. Whoops, no queen. Thank God we have a regent. He can kill Elsa later. 3, Anna does succeed and gets Elsa to enter the vial. Anna comes back to Arendelle thinking they will let Elsa out, but wrong. Hasty marriage, whoops, the queen dies, long live the king, but this time, the king has ice powers. And that is why he needed Anna and Elsa back in Arendelle, and Anna alive when he could have his man kill her off at any time. There is still a chance for Anna to get him the ice powers and Elsa out of the way. It was only the moment that she straight up refuses to use it that she is of no use to him. And that is why the men at North Mountain were told to get Anna. He needs the vial. He laughs. And now he doesn't even need to kill her himself. Elsa did it for him. Just needs to keep her in here. Kill Elsa, and when he returns, long live the king. He takes the dagger and the vial, locks the door, and leaves. Anna is defeated. It was true, wasn't it? Her following her heart, it was a mistake. Elsa, Kristoff, Mr. Weaselton, they all were right. If she had only listened to them, Arendelle would have been safe, she thinks. But then she remembers the words she heard in the dark, snow in her hair and the heartbeat of reindeer next to hers. You can do more than you think. So she scrambles to gather the remaining life inside of her. She does not know how long she has, but every second she will use to save her people from harm. She breaks the window, she climbs down the roof, falls, but someone catches her. It is Kristoff. He has come back. He came all the way to Arendelle, the place he hates, for her. He sees her body drained. He is terrified. Anna is so relieved that he's here. Suddenly the weakness feels even worse than before. I should have listened to you, she says. But Kristoff shakes his head. tears in his eyes, embracing her thesis. People can change, he says. I changed. You changed me. I am here. I don't know what it is, because... She interrupts him. I know what you feel, she says, and since they have no time left, both of them might die. They grab each other's face and desperately they kiss. But then Anna shivers. It hurts. I need to get to Elsa before Hans finds her. She almost faints. Kristoff, it takes all the power he has to let her go. Do it, he says. I will distract his men. They part. And now, it is only the three of them. Anna finds Elsa, who has been brought here and freed by Hans's man to destroy Arendelle and make Hans the hero. But oh no. A huge crack. Anna cannot reach her. She cries her hypothesis. Elsa, it's okay, don't worry. You hurt no one. Elsa, confused by the storm, only hears her sister's voice. So lonely, desperate for guidance, comfort, and companionship. So for a moment, she does calm down. Long enough for her to see Hans approaching. She cries, not knowing where her sister is. Anna, Hans is coming. But Anna can't do anything. She screams, run away, he wants to harm you. Elsa listens to her, stumbles. She sees the dagger in his hand. Anna, help me, she screams. She wants to live and be with her sister. But then, at last, she sees Anna. Her hair all white. Her skin blue like ice. And it hits her. This was her doing. She did hurt someone, the person she loved the most in the world. She stops, stumbling. She falls. She welcomes Hans and what he brings. It is the end. She was never meant to live, when all she was destruction and death. So be it. Anna knows it. Hans is so calm now, he thinks he has won. He turns to Anna and smiles. You think your words are stronger than magic, he says, wielding the antithesis one last time. You think you can beat magic and death with love. Love means nothing. He raises the dagger. Anna summons the last bit of power that she has, not thinking, only following her heart. She jumps across the divide, slides between them. And, as in the movie, she turns to ice. Hans is catapulted backwards. Elsa cries. It should have been her. Death has won. But then... she sees it. Her beloved sister is not dead. She comes back to life. Elsa's amazed. What magic was that? What magic was strong enough to melt the ice inside Anna's heart and calm the raging blizzard that had engulfed Elsa all this time? And as if Anna could read her sister's mind, Anna whispers, I love you. You are my sister. And then it dawns on Elsa. This was Anna's magic. Anna was right. Love is stronger than death and the ice. But she knows, and Anna does as well, it is not enough to solve every problem. The powers inside of Elsa, they will always have to be held in check, and the humans, they will always be wary of her. And so in this version, there is no triumph in her voice. Love, of course, love. Barely more than a sigh, full of gratefulness and relief and hope. So our Elsa is not suddenly in total control of her powers, and the Arendellians are not suddenly not afraid anymore. There is still a lot of work to do. But Anna is ready. We cut to a speech she gives to her people, validating their fear, but also telling them that her Arendelle will be a place that will embrace everyone who wants to live here, no matter how different. And then she drags a still awkward Elsa onto the ice, telling her, "See, they will learn, and so will you." But hold on, there is yet another socially awkward weirdo whose relationship with the people of Arendelle has to be mended. And there he is. And they both know. Now's the moment to decide. "I meant what I said," Anna says, and he smiles. A sad smile. But weirdly and new, almost proud. "I know, and I know you can achieve everything that you want." You. There it is. The hurdle, that what stands between them. Is he able to overcome his fear and insecurity? She is a queen after all. How could this ever work, love or not? I don't know what the future holds. She tries to catch his glance. But I know what my heart says. He dares to look at her. Ask him to stay, it says. Just one more day, to see how he likes it. Tell him that you die to show him what your favorite meal is and your best friend. And then ask what his heart says. She takes a step closer. She looks into his eyes. And there it is, a smile. He glances around like, how could anyone ever withstand her charm? He's defeated. It says yes. And in pure Anna style, she bounces, proud of herself, clapping her hands, taking his, ready to drag him into the crowd. But then she pauses, as if there was something important that she had forgotten that, out of the blue, just came to her. Yet, she doesn't even have time to finish her sentence. For one moment, following his heart, not caring what anyone thinks around him, Kristoff grabs her like he had wanted since she held that baby bear in her arms and pulls her into a passionate kiss. Wait, is there something that I've forgotten?
Oh my god!
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, show it to someone who might enjoy it as well. And most importantly, let me know in the comments what you'd like me to do next. Like, do you want more Frozen content? There is a second part that also deserves an ending that somehow connects with the beginning. And in my opinion, Anna and Kristoff's story as a couple is far from being over. Or do you have another Disney property in mind that needs more romance? Like this? Or this? Let me know. Bye!